responding to the gazillion or so people who have asked me about my use of the term retrohale or retrohaling. If you've spent any time looking over the Stogie Fresh cigar reviews or have taken a listen to any of my podcasts, you will have seen or heard the term retrohale used very frequently in reference to smoking a cigar. So the question is, what the heck is retrohaling and how do you do it? Well, first of all, we at Stogie Fresh coined this term back in late 2007. It's a contraction of two terms, retronasal olfaction and exhale, retrohale. But what is retrohaling, and why do we recommend it for the cigar smoker? Well, I usually describe it this way. Have you ever been drinking a soda and someone said something funny and you laughed right in midstream, spewing soda and snot out through your nose all over a white linen tablecloth? Or whatever. Basically, that's retrohaling. I kid you not, except that you're not supposed to do it while drinking, but you should do it while smoking a cigar. And here's why. There are two basic sensations produced during cigar smoking. When one takes a draw on a cigar, two primary senses will be stimulated. Gustation, which is taste, and olfaction is smell. These two senses combine to produce flavor. However, there's a third pathway that produces sensations, and it's called retronasal olfaction. Retronasal olfaction involves the sensations that arrive from aromas that travel in through the back door or through the back of the throat into the nasal cavity. Since orthonasal and retronasal olfaction both involve getting particles to the olfactory bulb, why not just sniff the smoke rather than learning how to expel it through the nose? The first reason is that retrohaling the smoke will dramatically increase the number of aroma particles reaching the olfactory bulb. But during retronasal olfaction, only the odor molecules drawn into the mouth in the cigar smoke will actually reach the olfactory receptors. Secondly, there are many sensations that arise from tobacco that cannot be perceived through taste alone, such as fruitiness or spiciness, because your taste buds will only pick up sweet, sour, salty, and bitter. Therefore, if you want to experience the widest range of flavors, you'll need to channel some of that by your olfactory receptors, and retrohaling is the best and most efficient way of doing that. So that brings us back to how to retrohale. Well, first of all, you're going to take some of the smoke into your mouth, and then you're going to close your mouth off and direct or channel the smoke out through your nose. Now, some people find that it helps if they actually kind of produce a snorting sound, like my illustration of the soda can. That may help, but frankly, makes you look like an idiot. So I'd lose that one for the time being. Anyway, also, it sometimes helps if you blow out maybe 50%, 75% of the smoke through your mouth before closing your mouth and then exhaling the rest of it, and that's kind of a good way of transitioning into it. And just retrohale that last little bit of smoke. But let me tell you, retrohaling really increases the sensitivity of your perceptions to the flavors and aromas of a cigar. You basically can't get away without it. It's like only smoking half the cigar. You get a much more concentrated flavor and a much broader variety of flavors by combining the flavors and the aromas through retrohaling. So that's basically how to retrohale. This is the doc. And that's my answer.